The Moonlight Greatsword is legend! And now, it can be yours in Elden Ring. Hello, my fellow Tarnished. How would you like to know how and where to get arguably the most famous Souls weapon, an icon for the series, reborn in Elden Ring as the Dark Moon Greatsword, and it is undoubtedly, irrevocably, completely one of the most broken, overpowered, and insane weapons in the entire game. So in order to acquire the Dark Moon Greatsword, you have to embark on and complete an NPC questline / storyline of gargantuan proportions. I'm going to guide you through every step while remaining as spoiler-free as possible. No major bosses will be revealed, and I will obscure any major lore revelations for those of you that want to discover that yourself. This will be a by-the-numbers, point-to-point, get it as fast as possible for everyone who wants to do as much of the game as possible, holding this beauty. So, to begin with then, you have to get to the lake zone, and you have to progress your way to the top left of it. You can just run here. You want to go to the Carrier Manor, and you want to complete the Carrier Manor. When you complete it, you will be able to exit the final boss room opposite where you came in and head to the 3 towers, one of which will be Ranni's Rise. You want to run in here up to the very top and talk to, well, Ranni, a mysterious figure indeed that you might recall is the same person that gave you your first summoning bell and the wolves. She will ask if you wish to join her service. You agree, and your first mission is to go help her other servant, Blade, in a task that she has set her. And, well, that task leads you over to the far, far east in the Bloodrot region of Caelid. Your ultimate objective here is the very bottom right of the map, a castle keep with quite the event going on. Now you can get here by simply running from Limgrave in to Caelid and following the road, veering off to the right when you get to the south of Caelid and continuing to the impassable Great Bridge, which, as you might imagine, isn't the most passable of great bridges. You can also take the portal that you get directed to above the East Church of Marika, which will put you out in North Caelid and then run down from there. Whichever which way you get here from the Grace, there is a teleport gate that will send you into the heart of the castle itself. Surprisingly, you're not going to get swarmed by enemies. You simply run up and enter a courtyard full of NPCs, one of which is our friend Blade, the half-wolf knight. And try not to have a serious case of you versus the guy she told you not to worry about while you're here. In any case, move up the steps and talk to the announcer and tell him you're ready. Which point there will be an incredible lore cutscene that I will skip here to not spoil you. After you've watched it, head to the back, through the doors, down the elevator, and down the slope to witness this great desert-like area ahead of you with a teleporter at the bottom. Now this teleporter will put you in a boss fight. This boss fight is brutal, it is difficult, it is a Great Rune main story completion boss fight. The guy that you have to kill here means business, so make sure you are prepared. This is a big wall and a big step 1, but if you can beat him, you can complete the rest of the questline comfortably. Once you beat him, you will be pointed back to Limgrave by a comet arriving and crashing down there. I won't say more context than that, but when you do go back to Limgrave, move past the Mistwood, and you will see a spiral of floating rock in the air. This is your cue in where to go. Head round to the back, slowly work your way down, careful not to fall, and you will find yourself in the eternal city of Nokrom. You simply follow the only path possible, slowly dropping and working your way down in order to get the first grave site in this upper Nokron area. Then you can pretty much do a straight run through in order to get what it is you need to get here. And what you need to get here is a special sword on request West of Ranni. That's what she tasked Blade with, and it's what you are helping with. So simply follow the route you are seeing, deal with the, let's say, self-reflecting mini-boss that you have to deal with in the middle, and then eventually you will make your way to the intended location. A lot of roof-to-roof, drop-down parkour-esque traversal, but make no mistake, you will soon be at your goal. Case, with all of the areas we will zoom through here in order to get the blade as soon as possible, I heartily recommend coming back and exploring thoroughly because there is a treasure trove of cool stuff to get and see in all of them, so please bear that in mind. This is the Finger Slayer blade, and it's what Ranni needs to, well, move on with her personal wishes and desires. Once you've got this blade, you go back to Ranni's Rise, you give Ranni said blade, and she's very pleased with you. Indeed, the item she gives you here is the required item to sanctify Renna, Queen of the Moon's Great Rune in the tower in the lakes. Then after that we need to swap towers to the northmost tower of the 3 towers. This will take us to an entirely new area known as the Ainsel River Main. Here then, make sure you absolutely pick up the very first item that you can pick up right in front of you, because it is a doll in the shape of Ranni, her mannequin, and you need this to finish the questline and get the Moonlight Dark Moon Greatsword. Then you will simply progress following the path as I do. Chiefly, you're just pretty much following the water. There is a big hanging demon thing throwing rocks at you that you have to sneak past, but it's not too challenging. Essentially, it really is go with the flow of the river. However, once you reach this grace site here, what you need to do is make sure you select the Talk to Ranni's Mannequin option, and you need to select it 3 times. The reason being is, well, without that you can't, again, complete the quest line. Once you have a nice little chat with her, get some incredibly awesome lore reveals, which again, I won't spoil for you, you are ready to move on. And that move on is a little bit further down the way, past 3 basilisks and their instant death gaze, until you come out into a larger area and attacked by, sadly, an evil phantom version of our good wolf friend Blade. Once you have bested him in glorious combat, and he is incredibly tricky, though you can backstab fish him quite effectively if you are patient, you will get a little thank you, well done, kudos from Ranni, and that's how you know you are good to move on to the next step. Our evil invader Blade will drop ourselves a key. And this key is, as you might imagine, Key, the discarded palace key. This unlocks a certain chest, a chest located in the boss room of our Renna, Queen of the Moon. So of course you have to beat her and complete that whole Great Rune Dungeon in Section 2 in the Lakes to complete the questline from this point onwards. Once you have done that, take this key to her now friendly rebirthing chamber, you sweeting you, and plunder her mother's belongings by getting the Dark Moon ring from the previously sealed chest, now unlocked thanks to our, well, no longer friend Blade. This ring is important, you cannot finish the questline and get the sword without it. Next, simply again continue forward through the path and you will find yourself coming out in the Lake of Rot. If you have any anti-rot items, such as the Saunching Baluses, this is the time for it. You don't need them. You want to sprint to the first platform, press the button, it will raise more platform, go to the end of that, and then just do what I do, which is power through the rot damage and debuff with a lot of your flasks until you can make it between these two flaming pillars into the grace proper for the area, at which point, congratulations, you will be cured. From here then, we're almost done. You want to drop down and then immediately cross the Blood River, run to the end, turn left, and get in a lovely, pleasant boat, also known as a sarcophagus. Why you feel the need to drag the lid on top of you before hurtling down a blood river, I don't know, but that you do. You will then arrive in an incredibly picturesque cavern with an incredibly foreboding boss fog wall ahead of you. Now, the monster, the boss, the enemy behind here, apart from being a horrific eldritch being, and I won't go deeper than that, is just as difficult as the first Great Rune boss you defeated in order to really kick off this process. So again, make sure you are ready for the fight of your life. Once you have beat the boss, you will unlock a grace site in the boss room, and then you can exit on the other side of the boss room to whence you came, rise up an elevator, and you will find yourself in the Moonlight Altar, the raised bit at the bottom left of the lake. So in case you're wondering how the hell you get here, this is how. I had a big oh moment too. Simply follow the path up into the ruined church, get the grace, run past the dragon, and on the right there is a hole in the floor that you can drop down carefully and follow. Within this chamber down here then, you will find, well, let's just say Ranni. Go up to Ranni, interact with her, give her the ring that we got from our moon goddess's chambers, and, well, enjoy the cutscene that follows, the reveals that follow, the conversation that follows, and once it's all said and done, the Dark Moon Greatsword will be yours to claim upon the floor. Yes! Yes! And now, breathe. I realize, ladies and gentlemen, that was quite quick, but I just wanted to give you as concise a point-to-point as I could without going into too much unnecessary detail. If it is a little bit too fast for you, then please just pause the video, watch where I go, and, you know, you can make sense of it that way, but again, it is quite the convoluted questline with a lot of steps. But again, the Dark Moon Greatsword is so very worth it. It requires 16 strength to equip, along with 11 dex and 38 int. So definitely for those of you heavy into your int side of things, like moi. The swings are meaty and powerful. The special is Moonlight Greatsword, so there's the direct reference. It makes the blade alight with a starlight glow, and it just looks while in the state, it deals enhanced damage, and the two-handed heavy attack releases a wave of pure energy that absolutely decimates enemies. This thing is monstrous, and I've only got it to +5. Obviously it takes Somber Stones, and already it is outclassing everything I have had up to this point by a country mile. It's kinda silly, really, and honestly I'm a little bit concerned it might make the rest of the playthrough too easy, but then again I still have a lot unexplored, so perhaps not. In any case, that is how you get the Dark Moon Greatsword, the Moonlight Greatsword of Elden Ring, and one of the most, if not the most, on balance powerful weapon in the game. Happy hunting for this legendary item. Again, remember to explore all of the areas you run through in order to get this after you've got it, because there is a lot of cool stuff going on there. And please remember to subscribe, hit the bell for more helpful Elden Ring tips and tricks, like if this guide did indeed help you. And if you'd like to see us stick around, continue existing, please consider supporting us on Patreon down below. It really does mean the world and lets us do what we do for you. a good boy.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.